Welcome back to Enigmas and Mysteries, the channel where we delve into the darkest and most mysterious legends that haunt humanity. In this episode, we're unraveling the stories of two of the most terrifying creatures in folklore and horror: vampires and werewolves. These supernatural beings are powerful symbols, embodying the fear, mystery, and darkness that lurks in our imaginations. For centuries, they have fascinated, terrified, and captured our deepest anxieties about life, death, and the unknown. But what exactly are vampires and werewolves? Vampires, according to legend, are immortal beings cursed to feed on the blood of the living. Often portrayed as charming and deadly, these creatures are said to have supernatural abilities, such as incredible strength, speed, and the power to hypnotize or control their victims. Vampires represent the fear of death and the horror of an eternal life bound to darkness. They are symbols of eternal damnation and corruption, forever cursed to wander the earth as creatures of the night. Werewolves, on the other hand, embody a different kind of terror. They are humans cursed to transform into savage wolves, usually under the full moon. This transformation is said to unleash primal instincts, turning an ordinary person into a beast driven by bloodlust and rage. Unlike vampires, werewolves represent the fear of losing control, the fear of the animal within us. In many legends, the transformation into a werewolf is not voluntary. It is a curse that brings out the beast in even the most ordinary individuals. Today, we'll explore the real historical figures who have come to symbolize these two creatures. Join us as we dive into the lives of two figures associated with vampirism and two infamous individuals tied to the legend of the werewolf. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Enigmas and Mysteries for more journeys into the unknown. Let's begin. And remember, the truth is often more terrifying than fiction. Always question and seek deeper understanding. Our story begins in 15th century Wallachia, a region in modern-day Romania, with Vlad III, known to history as Vlad the Impaler. Vlad was born into a noble family, and from a young age he was thrust into a world of political intrigue and violence. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order dedicated to defending Christianity against the Ottoman Empire. Vlad inherited his father's fierce commitment to protecting his homeland, but he would go on to earn a reputation for a level of brutality that shocked even his contemporaries. As ruler of Wallachia, Vlad faced constant threats from rival nobles and the encroaching Ottoman forces. To maintain control, he used a reign of terror, enforcing his rule with a method that would make him infamous: impalement. Vlad would capture his enemies, whether they were Ottoman soldiers, rival nobles, or criminals, and impale them on long, sharp stakes. This gruesome practice involved driving a stake through the body, leaving the victim to die slowly in agonizing pain. In one instance, Vlad reportedly impaled over 20,000 people, creating a forest of the dead as a warning to his enemies. Over time, rumors began to circulate that Vlad drank the blood of his enemies. Though this might have been exaggerated or even invented by his enemies, the association between Vlad and bloodthirstiness became deeply rooted in the popular imagination. When Irish author Bram Stoker wrote Dracula in 1897, he used Vlad as inspiration, transforming the brutal prince into a vampire who feeds on the blood of the living. Stoker's Dracula became the archetype for all vampires in literature and film, immortalizing Vlad the Impaler as the first vampire. Today, Vlad is remembered not only as a historical figure, but as the legendary figure of Dracula, the undead Prince of Darkness. Our journey into darkness now leads us to 16th century Hungary, where we encounter Elizabeth Báthory, a noblewoman known to history as the Blood Countess. Born into a powerful family with connections across Europe, Báthory grew up surrounded by wealth and influence. But despite her noble status, rumors of dark and unspeakable acts began to surround her. Elizabeth Báthory became notorious for her alleged obsession with youth and beauty. According to legend, she believed that bathing in the blood of young girls would preserve her youthful appearance. Historians believe that Báthory was responsible for the deaths of dozens, if not hundreds, of young girls, whom she lured to her castle under the pretense of employment. Once inside, These girls were subjected to brutal torture, and Báthory's servants claimed that she would collect their blood for her twisted rituals. While some historians suggest that these tales were exaggerated or fabricated to discredit her, the legend of Elizabeth Báthory as a vampire has persisted. The idea of a noblewoman so obsessed with beauty that she would kill to maintain her youth struck fear into the hearts of many. Báthory's story has since become a staple of vampire folklore, inspiring tales of blood-drinking countesses and immortal femmes fatales. Today, Elizabeth Báthory is remembered as one of history's most infamous figures, a woman whose dark legacy has cemented her place as one of the earliest vampire-like figures. Leaving behind the bloodthirsty figures of Vlad and Elizabeth, we now venture into the world of werewolves with the tale of Peter Stubb, the werewolf of Bedburg. In the 16th century, Germany was gripped by fear of witchcraft, magic, and the supernatural. In this climate of fear and superstition, Peter Stubb emerged as one of the most terrifying figures of his time. Stubb was accused of being a werewolf, a creature that terrorized the villages around Bedburg, Germany. According to local accounts, Stubb confessed under torture that he possessed a magical belt given to him by the devil, which allowed him to transform into a wolf. In his wolf form, Stubb was said to have committed heinous acts, attacking livestock, killing children, and even cannibalizing his victims. His confession shocked and horrified the public, and the people of Bedburg believed they were dealing with a genuine monster. Stubb's trial ended in one of the most brutal executions of the time. He was publicly tortured and killed, and his death was intended to serve as a warning to others. The case of Peter Stubb is one of the earliest documented instances of lycanthropy, the supposed ability to transform into a wolf. Whether or not Stubb truly believed he was a werewolf, his story reflects the fear and superstition of his time. His legend endures as a terrifying example of the werewolf myth, a creature trapped between human and beast. Our final story brings us to France in the 17th century, and the curious case of Jean Grenier, a teenager who shocked his village with claims of being a werewolf. Grenier was only about 13 years old when he began telling his peers that he could transform into a wolf. According to Grenier, a strange man had given him a wolf's skin, which allowed him to hunt in the wilderness, free from the constraints of human life. His boasts took a darker turn when local children began disappearing. Villagers accused Grenier of using his wolf form to attack and kill these children, and he was brought to trial. Unlike other alleged werewolves, Grenier's young age saved him from execution. Instead, he was sentenced to live out his days in a monastery, where he would be watched over and kept away from the public. His story is unique because it shows how even a child could be seen as a vessel for dark forces, especially in a society gripped by fear of the supernatural. Jean Grenier's case highlights the pervasive belief in werewolves and the extent to which society would go to control perceived threats. His story reflects not only the horror associated with werewolves, but also the vulnerability of youth and the dangers of superstition. Grenier's life in the monastery served as a reminder of society's fear of transformation, the fear that even the innocent could be consumed by darkness. The tales of Vlad the Impaler, Elizabeth Báthory, Peter Stubb, and Jean Grenier reveal the fine line between myth and reality. These were real individuals whose stories have evolved into legends, embodying the archetypes of vampires and werewolves. Vlad and Elizabeth have become immortalized as vampires, creatures of eternal hunger and darkness. Peter and Jean, on the other hand, remind us of our fear of transformation, the possibility that beneath our human facade lies a beast waiting to emerge. These figures serve as symbols of humanity's darkest fears, the fear of death, the horror of losing control, and the endless battle between good and evil. Vampires and werewolves may be mythical creatures, but their origins in real history give them a haunting weight that still resonates with us. Through these stories, we are reminded that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed this journey into the history and legend of vampires and werewolves, make sure to subscribe to Enigmas and Mysteries for more chilling tales. And remember, the truth is often more terrifying than fiction. Always question and seek deeper understanding.